Hello students, today again we are continuing with biology class 12 new syllabus chapter number 11 enhancement of food production. Today is the 13th lecture of this chapter, that is enhancement of food production. In this chapter we have started with the part of microbes in human welfare. Okay. In our the topics that are deleted from this chapter for the academic year 2021 are plant breeding, tissue culture, single cell protein, animal husbandry. Just make a note of it. 11.2 plant breeding, 11.3 tissue culture, 11.4 single cell protein and 11.6 animal husbandry. Okay. Topics covered in our last lecture, the things that we have studied in our last lecture was microbes as biocontrol agents and bioherbicides. Okay, we have studied in our last lecture the role of microorganisms as biocontrol agent and bioherbicides. Today we are going to study about the role of microorganisms as a biofertilizer. Okay, we are going to study about the role of microorganism as biofertilizer. Before studying the biofertilizer, let us know what do you mean by fertilizers. What are fertilizers? Fertilizers are nutrients which are necessary for the growth of plants and productivity of cultivated plants. Okay, fertilizers are nutrients which are necessary for the growth of plants and productivity of cultivated plants. That means they are the nutrients which they are used as a form of nutrients which are very much necessary for growth of plants. As for human beings, for our body, the growth of our body depends upon the vitamins, minerals, proteins, etc. In the similar way, the growth of plants and productivity of cultivated plants depend upon the amount of fertilizers. So, the use of fertilizers for increasing productivity is one of the aspects of green revolution. Okay, if we have to use the fertilizers for increasing the productivity, and that is going to result in green revolution everywhere. Okay, fertilizers are classified as two types. There are two types of fertilizers, inorganic fertilizers and organic fertilizers. When I say inorganic fertilizers, it means chemical fertilizers, and organic fertilizers means biological fertilizers. Inorganic fertilizers are synthetic, means we are preparing those fertilizers where mineral salts such as NPK, that means nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, are mixed in definite proportion and then dusted in the field. Okay, those fertilizers such as NPK are mixed in definite proportion and then they are dusted in the field. And another one is organic, that is biological fertilizers. These fertilizers are biological in origin and include farmyard manure, FYM, compost and green manure. Okay. The use of inorganic or chemical fertilizers are non-judicious, or excessive use of such fertilizers can lead to the pollution of soil, air, water, groundwater, etc. And the another thing is the use of this chemical organic fertilizers increases the fertility of the soil, whereas on the other hand, the use of inorganic fertilizers, the soil becomes acidic. It makes the soil acidic in nature. So it is most preferable to use organic fertilizers. Okay, it is most preferable to use organic fertilizers. There are too much ill effects of inorganic fertilizers. Now, let us start with our actual topic, that is biofertilizers. What do you mean by biofertilizers? Biofertilizers are the organisms that enrich the nutrient quality of the soil and increases the fertility of the soil. That means these are those organisms that enriches the nutrient quality of the soil. It gives good quality of the soil and it also increases the fertility of the soil. Now, which microorganisms we are using as a fertilizer? Examples are bacteria, cyanobacteria, fungi are the three groups of organisms that are used as biofertilizers. Example, rhizobium, azotobacter, azospirillum. Okay, there are many examples that are used that we are using as biofertilizers. This all microorganisms are used as biofertilizers. Now let us study the advantages of biofertilizers. There are many advantages, but I have pointed few of them. Okay. First one is biofertilizers are better and sustainable for agricultural production. That means it gives good results and sustainable results for agricultural production. But biofertilizer practice increases the use of organic farming. It increases the practice of organic farming. Biofertilizers enrich nutrient quality of the soil. Biofertilizers are used as commercial preparation of ready-to-use live bacteria or fungal formulations. It enriches soil fertility. It is very cost-effective. It is eco-friendly and it helps in maintaining long-term soil fertility and sustainability. Okay, so this is important from your exam point of view, that is advantages of biofertilizers. Types of biofertilizers. Now we will study one by one. On the basis of nature and function, biofertilizers are divided into following 5 groups. First one is nitrogen fixing biofertilizer. Second one, phosphate solubilizing biofertilizer. Third one, compost making biofertilizer. Fourth one, cyanobacteria as biofertilizer. And next is fungal biofertilizer. First one, we will study all in detail. First one, nitrogen fixing biofertilizer. When I say nitrogen fixing biofertilizer, the nitrogen fixing microorganisms which convert atmospheric nitrogen into nitrogenous compounds like nitrites and nitrates via ammonia. Okay, in this, the nitrogen fixing biofertilizers, the nitrogen fixing microorganisms which convert atmospheric nitrogen into nitrogenous compounds like nitrites and nitrates through ammonia. Nitrogen fixing microorganisms are called diazotropes and they are of 2 types. Now let us study the 2 types. Nitrogen fixing biofertilizers are of 2 types, that is symbiotic nitrogen fixing bacteria and free living nitrogen fixing bacteria. Symbiotic and free living nitrogen fixing bacteria. There are 2 types, symbiotic and nitrogen fixing free living. When I say symbiotic, that means it is present in association with someone. Symbiotic means it is present in association with someone. Example is Rhizobium, Anabaena, Frankia. These are always associated generally with underground parts, that is roots of higher plants. Okay, these are associated generally with the underground parts, that is roots of higher plants. Free living or non-symbiotic nitrogen fixing microorganisms, example Azotobacter, Nostoc, Clostridium, Bergeringia, Klebsiella, etc. These all are free living non-symbiotic nitrogen fixing microorganism. That means they are free. They are not present in association with any of the organism, with any of the roots, anything. Okay. Second one is phosphate solubilizing biofertilizer. These are the bacterial species which stabilize the insoluble inorganic phosphate compound such as rock phosphate. Okay. Example: Pseudomonas striata, Bacillus polymyxia, Agrobacterium micrococcus, and Aspergillus species. Third one is compost making biofertilizer. Here, composting is a natural process that turns organic material into dark, rich substance called as compost or humus. Students, here you need to by heart this definition of humus also. What is humus? Humus means when the organic material are converted into dark, rich substance, that is called as humus or compost. The composting process is dependent on microorganisms to break down the organic matter into compost. There are many types of microorganisms found in active compost such as bacteria, fungi, actinobacteria, protozoa and rotifers. Fourth one is cyanobacteria as biofertilizers. Many cyanobacteria are aquatic and terrestrial. Some of them are free-living or symbiotic. Some are aerobic, photosynthetic, nitrogen-fixing, heterocystous or non-heterocystous form. Examples are Anabaena, nostoc, Plectronema, Oscillatoria, etc. Anabaena, nostoc and Toliphothorix are associated with lichens, while Anabaena is associated with plants like Azolla and Cycas. Next and the last one is fungal biofertilizers. When I say fungal biofertilizers, mycorrhiza is a fungus. It forms symbiotic association with underground parts like rhizome and the roots of higher plants occurring in thick humid forest. These are discovered by Frank in 1885. There are two types of mycorrhiza, that is ectomycorrhiza and endomycorrhiza. Ectomycorrhiza means they have well developed mycelium that forms mantle on the outside of roots. That means this increases the absorptive surface area of roots and accelerates uptake of water and nutrients. When I say these are the roots, ecto means outside. They are present outside the roots. When they are present outside the roots, they are associated with the roots and they occupy the space. Their surface area increases, the root surface area increases. When the root surface area increases, their capacity to uptake the water, mineral and nutrition also increases. Hence, due to this plant vigor, growth and yield increase, some hyphae of mycorrhizal fungus penetrate into the roots and forms Hartig net in the intercellular space of root cortex. Next one is endomycorrhiza. It is very simple. It is inside. They grow in between and within the cortical cells of roots. Means ecto. Its name itself suggests endo means inside. So they are growing in between the and within the cortical cells of roots. Fungal hyphae penetrate the cells and form finely branched herbascules. Intracellularly means in between the cells and form vesicles. Okay. Mostly in the intracellular spaces of cortical cells, hence they are called vesicular herbascular mycorrhiza or VAM fungi. It is very much popular with the name of VAM fungi. Nowadays they are described as AM fungi because many of the plants with VAM grow luxuriantly in many of the plants that are having VAM fungi are able to grow very much luxuriantly. And they grow in a very good condition. And nowadays they are described as AM fungi. The plants with VAM grow luxuriantly in less irrigated lands also. And the association of VAM with the crop plants help in conversion of less productive field into more productive field. Since it is a nutrient, they are used as a nutrient, so they can be used for various purposes. We can use it for good purpose also. It helps in converting less productive land into good and more productive field. So thank you for today. We will continue this chapter. One more lecture we will require for completion of this chapter. In our next lecture, we will complete this chapter. Okay, we will continue in next lecture. Till then, take care everyone.